Hi, it's Paul here from selfhelpforlife.com, and today I'm going to talk about the 6 human needs that drive all your good and bad behaviors. Now, this idea came from Tony Robbins, and he believes that these human needs define your personality. They also define what you can and will achieve, and everybody ranks these human needs differently, and how you rank them defines you as a person. Now, these 6 human needs can be met in good ways, ways that are constructive and resourceful, or they can be met in bad ways, ways that are unresourceful and not constructive. And all dysfunctional behaviors come from an inability to consistently meet one or more of these 6 basic human needs. So the first one is a need for certainty. So this is a need for safety, security, stability, comfort, order, predictability, control, and consistency. And this is basically about knowing what is coming next. So having some certainty over that. And we need this to be able to avoid the pain and stress of not knowing what is coming next. And this allows us to seek comfort. Now, this also affects your risk tolerance, so the risks you might take in your job or career, financial investments, or even in relationships. And the higher your need for certainty, the less risks you are likely to take or bear emotionally. So I'm now going to cover some positive or neutral ways to meet this need for certainty. So these could include taking steps towards financial security in the future by saving and investing now. Or it could be watching the same movie a second time because you know what the plot is now in the movie, so you get some certainty from that. It could be going on the same place in holiday, so the same location, staying in the same accommodation, because you've got that certainty of the quality and what it's going to be like. Another way could be working with the same company for a long period of time, or staying with the same person for a long period of time. And that's assuming everything is going well in the company or in the relationship. Now, negative ways to meet this need for certainty could include eating or drinking excessively. So each time you do that, you get some certainty around that, but it's bad for you in the long term. It could be smoking or taking recreational drugs. Again, you're going to get that high from these drugs. That gives you some certainty, but it's going to have longer term effects in the future. Could be trying to control other people. So controlling other people to achieve some kind of emotional need for certainty. It could be staying in a bad relationship or a lousy career for much longer than you need to. So even when you're in a lousy career or a bad relationship, you get some certainty over that. There's some predictability over that, even if it's quite nasty. So that can be a reason, a negative reason. And another one, a really important one, is actually giving up on something. So when you give up on something, you're in a way taking on the certainty of your life staying the way it is. Because when you try and do something that's challenging, that means that your life is going to change in some way. So giving up on something, whether it's a business, a career, or a relationship, or just giving up trying to do something, basically is going to give you that certainty that life is going to continue the way it is. Okay? So the second human need is actually the complete opposite of the first one. It's a need for uncertainty. So this is a need for variety, for surprise, challenges, excitement, difference, chaos, adventure, change, and novelty. Now, I'd like to ask you, do you like surprises? Do you like surprises? Now, I reckon for most of you that's going to be a resounding yes. Yes, we love surprises, but only if they're positive, only if they're good surprises. What about if that surprise is a problem, an upset, something we didn't expect? So then that surprise becomes a problem. So we need uncertainty because we like surprises, but the problems are important as well because they are what allow us to grow our mental toughness and our character as well. So positive or neutral ways to meet the human need for uncertainty would include competitive sports. So this could be playing in a competitive sport because we don't know whether we're going to win or not, or it could be watching a competitive sport. So either meet that need for uncertainty because we don't know what the outcome is going to be. It could also be taking calculated risks towards your goals in life, so towards achieving a better life in some way. So as long as those risks are calculated and they're well worked out, then that can help meet that need for uncertainty as well. It could be being an adrenaline junkie. So if you really like adrenaline sports and those kind of things, then you really value uncertainty. So there's loads of theme parks and places you can go to meet those needs. And also going on exciting or adventurous holidays. So if you've really got the travel bug and you love staying in different places and different types of accommodation in different parts of the world and seeing all the different experiences that can be had, then you probably value that need for uncertainty and variety in life. So now it's interesting that the need for certainty and the need for uncertainty they actually work together. They're like a continuum. So if you have too much certainty in your life, then you start to feel bored and you seek a need for variety and change. Now, if you have too much variety or change in your life, if your life there's too many risks going on, then that can create stress and worry, overwhelm and frustration. And then you start to crave security and certainty. So in reality, we all want to be somewhere between certainty and uncertainty. It's just for some people, they're much more comfortable towards the uncertain end of the spectrum, and other people are much more comfortable towards the certain end. And that will vary over time for individuals as well. So the third human need is a need for significance. So this is a need for meaning, for pride, for having a sense of importance and feeling worthy of love. So it's really about having a need to feel special in some way, to feel needed and wanted as well. And again, there's positive and neutral ways to achieve this, which could include being very academic, so achieving master's degrees and PhDs. That can help you feel significant. It could be climbing the corporate ladder, so getting to a senior level where you're a senior manager or executive. It could be becoming a highly successful athlete or musician. It could be by volunteering. Some people get that significance from volunteering. For other people, it could be making more money. And for some people, it's actually becoming more spiritual. So there's lots of interesting ways that you can achieve that need for significance. Now, negative ways of achieving that need could be having bigger problems than anyone else. So if you have a lot of problems in your life and you talk about those a lot, that can be a way unconsciously to meet the need for significance. Or saying a lot of sad stories about yourself. Or putting other people down. This is a common one. If you see people putting other people down, often they do that because they want to meet this need for significance. It can be hurting others. It can be gaining an unfair advantage. It can be done by bullying or even violence, or being a martyr, or being a victim in some way, or by rebelling. So there's lots of negative ways to achieve this level of significance. So the fourth human need is a need for love and connection. So this is a need for communication, approval and attachment. It's about feeling connected with, intimate and loved by other human beings. Now, achieving this human need can have some downsides. Sometimes it's going to involve getting criticized by others or getting rejected by other people as well. And sometimes when you achieve this need, let's say you've achieved it through an intimate relationship with a long-term partner, you can sometimes settle down, drop out of life a little bit, and life can become very certain. And then you might start to crave uncertainty again. Now, positive ways to meet this need is obviously dating, intimacy, getting married, finding your perfect partner is a great way. But it could also include, joining clubs, so hobbies, interest clubs, those sorts of things. Could involve going out partying and nights out at the pub. So you're interacting with people at a social level. An interesting way of meeting this need also is walking in nature. So actually going on a walk by yourself in nature seems to enhance or help you fulfill this need for love and connection. Or it certainly does for me anyway. I've found that's really helped me. And if all else fails, get a pet. Again, I know people that have done this. Maybe they've struggled to find their perfect partner, so they've gone for pets and met that need for intimacy in that way. Negative ways of meeting this need could include joining a gang or a cult. Could also include settling for an average relationship. So maybe you've been heartbroken in the past, you've been hurt in the past. So you think, I'll settle for something that's quite average, and then that way I won't be heartbroken or hurt again in the future. Could also be being in a codependent relationship. So this is when you depend entirely on the other person to meet your own needs. Now, it's interesting that the need for significance and the need for love and connection are also like a continuum. So if you have too much significance in your life, you will often notice a lack of connection. So, you've probably noticed some celebrities that have become depressed, anxious and lonely. It's because they've really valued significance and they've ignored love and connection. And then what seems to happen is, as their significance, maybe their celebrity status starts to wane, and so they don't have that significance as much, and then they start to get lots of mental health problems because they've never really cultivated that love and connection. Now, if you have too much connection, so maybe in an intimate relationship, then you can lose your sense of identity as an individual. So you no longer feel important as a person. And that then means that you start to value significance more. And so that can sometimes create issues in the relationship as well. So that's a good one to watch out for. So the above 4 needs that I've talked about, these are all absolutely essential to life. Okay, we will always do things to meet the need for certainty, uncertainty, significance, and love and connection. And as you can see, you can achieve these in a positive way or in a negative way. Now, the last 2 human needs are optional. You can have a relatively okay life and not achieve these. Okay, and these are called spirit needs, and they are essential for achieving fulfillment and happiness. So as I mentioned, not everyone achieves these, but when you do, you will feel truly fulfilled in life. Okay, so the first one, so this is the 5th human need overall, is a need for growth. So this is a need for constant emotional, intellectual and spiritual development. And as the saying goes, if you're not growing, you're dying. So if you're not growing in each area of your life, you're dying. It's very hard to stay static. You're either going forwards or you're going backwards. So this need is really about growing in all areas of your life. So growing in your health, your relationships, your career, your finances, and also spirituality as well. So the 6th and last human need, and this is also the 2nd of the spirit needs, is contribution. So this is a need to give beyond ourselves, to care and protect and serve other people. So the idea is, it's not about me, it's about we. And it's interesting that when you receive some kind of good or exciting news, what's the first thing you normally do? You normally share it with somebody else. Share it with someone you love, or just anyone that's around at the time sometimes. So we naturally like to share good things, exciting things with other people. And I think what's great about this is that this is really about, it's not what you get, it's about who you become. And a lot of these things like contribution are really what make you happy and fulfilled in the long term. So the idea that you're giving of service to other people is really, really key for that sense of happiness and fulfillment. So these were the 6 human needs as identified by Tony Robbins. Let's just quickly recap them. So the first one is a need for certainty. The second one is a need for uncertainty. The third one is a need for significance. The 4th one is a need for love and connection. The 5th one is a need for growth. And the final one is a need for contribution. So I hope you found this video useful, just getting a sense of the different needs. Start looking at your life and look at how you're meeting these needs in both positive ways, and maybe there's some that you're meeting in a negative way, and maybe you could look at another way of achieving that need that's more positive. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and do leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think, and do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and click the bell notification. That way you will always be notified whenever I release future videos. And if you haven't already, do go to my website, that is selfhelpforlife.com. On my website you will find the written versions to many of these videos, also a link to my podcast and social media. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to sharing more great content with you very soon. Bye for now.